Good morning on what is a cool, bright, and sunny day. It is Wednesday, the 26th of July. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and another box to continue unboxing here in the Nook. What I've got next is Monsters and Magic of Lankhmar, a supplement for a 5th edition supplement from Goodman Games. So, this is a Lankhmar supplement for 5th edition fantasy, so it is compatible with 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And it comes really out of Goodman Games' development of the Lankhmar intellectual property, based upon the stories of Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser by Fritz Lieber, for its Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar box set and series of scenarios in which the player characters are cast as minor, essentially petty crooks and potential gang lords in the city of 1,000 Smokes. So it makes utter sense for having got the intellectual property to develop that in terms of role playing, to adapt it to a more popular, or at least the world's most popular rule set. So, a Lankhmar supplement for 5th edition fantasy. From the frog-shrouded streets of Lankhmar to your gaming table, Monsters and Magic of Lankhmar is filled with more terrible beasts and new magic than the pages of Scrith of the Scrolls, each presented in a ready-to-use 5th edition format. More than 20 new monsters and over 15 new spells and magical items are included here. Each one from the fantastic stories of Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, as written by the world-renowned fantasy author Fritz Lieber. Produced in cooperation with the Fritz Lieber estate, Monsters and Magic of Lankhmar is the perfect way to introduce a dash of Lankhmar into your 5th edition campaign, or create adventures set in the world of Nuon, all without the need of Ningball's Cave. To do so, get ready to venture into the land of Lankhmar and see what adventure awaits you and your players. So this is not the first time that Lankhmar has come to Dungeons & Dragons. TSR did a box set, of course, and a range of supplements, and subsequently Lankhmar has been visited using essentially the basic roleplay RuneQuest rules from Mongoose, and then more recently there was a Savage Worlds version from Pinnacle Entertainment, and now we have obviously the Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar box set and its line of entertaining scenarios, which really do involve the player characters in the events in the city, and so on. So open up, and what we've got front this piece, and the thing that notes here is this cover, this inside cover artwork, because of these characters. So despite the fact that this is 5th edition compatible, you've got Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser on the front cover. You actually have characters from Dungeon Crawl Classics inside the front of this piece, because they're part of the gang for Dungeon Crawl Classics. They're sort of like the artwork that Goodman Games uses again and again. They appear throughout the Dungeon Crawl Classics line. So, and we've got an introduction and a list of all the Lankhmar media sources which Michael Curtis draws upon for this supplement. So that's all useful. So essentially you've got, like, not just, okay, here are the monsters, here are the magic items, here are the spells, here's the fiction for you to go and sort of like read from the source directly. So we get onto the monsters, and here we go. So we've got Behemoths and Beloved Attire and Bleakshore Executioners. Notes on adding additional monsters to your Lankhmar campaign. Stats: Dragons of New York, Nuon as well. You've got customised dragons. You've got notes on there on how to customise them. And you've got Gods of Lankhmar, but they're not detailed in this supplement. You could almost do with a new supplement for that, but you could easily delve into the Dungeon Crawl Classics box set for it if you so wished. But we have Ghost Hounds, Ice Gnomes, Invisibles of Stardock, Kleshite Ghoul. And the artwork's really really good for this. I really like the artwork in here. So you've even got an Invisible of Stardock Duelist. So the question is, how do you duel an invisible of Stardock? You can't see them. So even you've got Kleshite ghouls, and then even Nuon ghouls, and then a Nuon ghoul raider captain. Bit of a mouthful there. Rats of Lankhmar below, rat-sized and full-sized, because one of the things that features of the Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar box set and the scenarios is that you're constantly running into sort of like the secret threat and presence of the rat men in their warrens, in the sewers, in the cracks between the walls and the foundations, and some of them can shrink to, the were-rats can shrink down and full size, and that starts even right from the initial scenario for Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar in the box set, where the player characters are shrunk down to rat size and encounter them in a house. So they are a constant kind of presence throughout the line. So we have creatures from Simorgan, list of those, including Simorgans, Simorgans nobles, and Simorgans mantas, before we get onto snow serpents, and Statue of the Devourers, and War Cats. Then we have a change, we get on to part 2, Magic and Wonders of Nuon, and we've got spell lists, so for rangers, wizards, rangers, sorcerers, warlocks and wizards, because there are no clerics per se in Lankhmar. And then you've got listed the spell descriptions. So elude, for example, is so the new ranger spell, and then we've got things like Histomilos, strangling, fog, and the spells are sort of like individually named. Main Mouse's Pain of Transference, the Snow Women's Icy Restraint. So they've got plenty of flavour even in the titles. And we move on to arcane of artifacts like the Blindfold of True Seeing, Cloak of Invisibility, Dart of Emotions, Elixir of Ghost, Groin Piece of Gortich, which the metal and leather undergarment helps protect the wearer and can easily be worn under clothing without being noticed. It adds +3 to armor class. And more of the artwork capturing the feel and flavour of Lankhmar. And then we do have Where's Scalpel, Cat's Claw and Grey Wand, which are the weapons wielded by Frappered and the Grey Masters. So they've got their own box as well. Things like a war cat whistle. So, whistle and the cat will meow. And then more artwork to finish off the book. So Trafford and the Game Mouser are carousing, after one night out on the tiles. Quite literally, because essentially there's a lot of rooftop sort of like play in Lankhmar, rushing across the roofs from one building to the next, raiding the next building, and so on, going over the roofs to get down into the buildings, burglarizing, that sort of thing. And we have more artwork here again with the Dungeon Crawl Classics gang. And just some of the characters given portrait, basically thumbnail portraits. That's a nice addition with room for notes. And then just a bit of advertising for your 5th edition fantasy that's back there. So yeah, that's Monsters and Magic of Lankhmar. A little supplement which will help bring the elements, the monsters, magic, and magic items of Lankhmar to your 5th edition campaign, if you so desire. So, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.